Everyone knows people in Hollywood are obsessed with their looks, but by trying to make themselves look perfect, so many of them end up looking much, much worse. In this video, we'll look at 6 celebrities who look completely different to how they used to, starting with Liam Payne. On March 16th, 2023, Liam attended the film premiere of his former One Direction bandmate, Louis Tomlinson, and people were taken aback when they saw him. His face had completely changed, with his jaw appearing super prominent and his cheeks having a sunken-in look. Before this, Liam always had a youthful-looking face. His cheeks were rounded and his face looked quite full. Whenever he'd put on weight, his face would balloon, so it seems he's predisposed to storing fat there. I can only assume he felt self-conscious about this, since he couldn't achieve the angular, chiseled look that's desired nowadays. So he did something about it. After his appearance on the red carpet, tabloids ran away with speculations about the work he had done, and even board-certified plastic surgeons chimed in. One thing that most agree on is that he had buccal fat removal, which is a reduction of the fat pads in the cheeks. This is a huge trend in Hollywood at the moment, as there are countless celebrities that have had this procedure. Zoe Kravitz, Bella Hadid, Lea Michele, and Anya Taylor-Joy to name a few. As for his jaw, he may have had fillers, but it could even be a jaw implant. The sad thing is, after all that money, time, and effort, people seem to think he looks worse than he did before. One Reddit user posted a thread asking if Liam had buccal fat removal, and the top comment compared him to handsome Squidward. While obviously a joke, you can see why that comment got so many upvotes. The Boys is Amazon's most popular original TV show, and one of its breakthrough stars is Erin Moriarty. Erin plays the character Starlight, and throughout the first few seasons of the show, she had a youthful and natural look. However, recently her face has completely changed, and it's very noticeable. A few months ago, Erin posted this picture to her Instagram account, and she received a ton of hate over it. People were commenting all sorts of hurtful things about her appearance, asking her what she'd done to her face, but no one made Erin feel quite as bad as Megyn Kelly. Megyn is an American journalist and media personality with her own show called The Megyn Kelly Show. On one episode of the show released at the start of this year, she attacked Erin, criticizing her for having had work done and becoming another Kim Kardashian lookalike.
There's this gal who starred in both of those. Her name is Erin Moriarty, and she's 29 years old, and she's a beautiful actress. But she's decided to completely change her face. This is a picture of her before, which I think was relatively recent, within the past year or so. Very beautiful girl, so beautiful that she was becoming a very famous Hollywood actress, put on camera and on screen and on multiple shows and movies. Now look at her. Look at that. She's got the Kim Kardashian lips. She's made her nose so skinny, it looks like a pencil now. She's got like what appear to me to be cheek implants. She looked like a nice, beautiful, natural gal. It's not about an objection to plastic surgery. It's about an obsession with turning yourself into this fake version of yourself, into truly like a Kim Kardashian disciple with the enormous lips and the teeny tiny nose and the huge overdone fillered cheeks. I don't know what's in there. I find it like a sign of mental illness. It's extremely upsetting. It's a massive turnoff to me. I really want to get in the heads of these young girls and say, please don't do this.
Now, Megyn is no stranger to controversy and confrontation, so going after someone like this isn't out of character for her. But what she said really got to Erin, and she made a post on Instagram addressing it. She said, Megyn used a photo taken a year ago, according to her, that had in actuality been taken about a decade ago before I was of legal drinking age. Regarding the other picture, she said, I got my makeup done that day and it involves major contouring, and I remember leaving and feeling pretty. I saw the comments, scathing enough to just turn my comments off. But this is becoming harassment. This is becoming false news. Although Erin denied the accusations, it's near enough impossible to believe her because she just looks so different. The majority of the changes occurred between season 3 and season 4 of The Boys, making it painfully obvious to viewers of the show that she'd had something done.
In 2021, at the age of 27, what I'm seeing is some introduction of Botox to the forehead, glabella, and crow's feet. I'm also seeing some signs of a rhinoplasty. I'm seeing that Erin's nose appears less bulbous at the tip. She has a smoother dorsum or bridge to her nose without that little bump that she had in the past. Erin also appears to have some lip filler in her lips, which I didn't see in some prior images.
Although Erin escaped criticism from fans on her Instagram by switching comments off, people have found other places to voice their opinion. The comment sections of all the promotional videos for The Boys Season 4 are overrun with people talking about her appearance. Why is Erin denying so much that she did plastic? It's so obvious. She used to be one of the cutest girls in the business, and now she looks like Donatella Versace, and blaming her different look to makeup? What the fuck? Erin went from one of the prettiest girls on the show to one of the scariest. I literally want to cry for Erin, bro. Of course, everybody can do with their body as they wish, but it's a shame when people don't recognize the beauty they had in the first place. Zac Efron used to be the Disney Channel heartthrob with dashing good looks. He was someone that people universally found attractive, but out of nowhere in 2021, his face completely changed. In a video released in April of that year, Zac made headlines for looking almost unrecognizable. His jaw area had enlarged and he developed an overall fuller, more bloated face. Many speculated that he'd had plastic surgery or other cosmetic procedures such as fillers or Botox, but Zac remained quiet on the situation. He didn't address his transformation until the following year, when he explained that the changes in his jaw were caused by an accident he had at home. Apparently, he was running through his house, slipped and badly hurt his chin.
If that's the direction that it was going, maybe
if he
it's
was
time
gonna get plastic surgery, he wouldn't get that. Come on.
You got a good job, man.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. You're just stirring the pot.
No, it was funny. It sucked. I almost died.
But his accident occurred all the way back in 2013, which makes his story hard to believe. He said the reason his jaw only began to grow in 2021 was because he took a break from rehab. And while this may be true, there's also another reason he could have experienced these changes. In 2022, pictures surfaced of Zac on the set of his new movie where he plays the pro wrestler Kevin Von Erich. The pictures raised a lot of eyebrows because he suddenly looked much bigger than ever before, and he developed a bubble gut, which is a telltale sign of drug use. We've seen these kinds of changes in other Hollywood actors alongside significant body transformations. So in Zac's case, it may not have been anything cosmetic at all. Simon Cowell has been on TV for a really long time, appearing on talent shows year after year, so people are very familiar with what he looks like. That's why people were in shock in 2022 when they saw him in this Britain's Got Talent promotional video.
I always say on this show, 2 or 3 minutes can change your life, and it has. And maybe this time it's going to be you.
This video sparked a lot of conversation, and unfortunately, most people didn't have anything good to say. Blows my mind how people are so scared of looking old, they prefer to look like a half-melted action figure. Dude was genetically blessed with a good-looking natural face and decided it wasn't enough. Whoever worked on him should have their medical license revoked. So what exactly happened to Simon's face? Well, initially, Simon dipped his toe into the world of cosmetic enhancements with Botox and filler, and over the years, this caused noticeable changes in his face. However, after seeing his son's reaction to a picture of him from the past, he decided he needed to stop. There was a stage where I might have gone too far. I saw a picture of me from before the other day and didn't recognize it as me first of all. Eric was in hysterics. Enough was enough. There's no filler in my face at all now. Zero. The truth is, his son wasn't the only reason he removed it. Simon got into a horrible accident on an e-bike in 2020, which really traumatized him. He was testing the bike in his California home when he lost control and fell off. He broke his back in multiple places and had to undergo a 6-hour-long surgery, which included having a metal rod put in his back to stabilize it.
It was a bad accident, and I knew it was bad the second it happened. And the recovery was pretty difficult.
This event made him take a closer look at how he was living his life, and he realized how much he'd been neglecting his health.
As bad as it was, the upside was worth it, because if I hadn't broken my back, I don't think I would have ever realized how unfit I really was.
After that, he reevaluated his diet and ended up losing over 20 kilograms or 44 pounds, and this was when he dissolved the filler. However, his desire to enhance his looks never went away, so he chose instead to pivot to a surgical solution in mid-2022.
It looks to me like around this time he already had a lateral brow lift, upper blepharoplasty, maybe a lower blepharoplasty as well, with a canthoplasty. And his upper eyelid just appears more hollow, and that's due to the combination of likely brow lifting and an aggressive upper eyelid skin removal.
The combination of weight loss, dissolving fillers, and getting surgery around the eyes led to the significant change we saw in the BGT promo video. And although people have criticized the change in Simon's appearance, it seems he's healthier now than he's been in a long time. Tulisa rose to fame in the group N-Dubz, alongside her friends Dappy and Phaser. In the 2000s, they achieved a lot of success as a trio, releasing multiple successful albums and performing all around the world. Tulisa was the full package. She had the voice, the looks, and the charisma. In 2011, the group disbanded and Tulisa became a judge on the X Factor. She was just 23 at the time, making her the youngest judge to have ever been on the panel. At this point, she looked no different to how she looked in her younger years, but in the couple years following, the changes started to show. Her lips got bigger, her cheeks filled out, and her teeth changed. In 2014, Tulisa was convicted of assaulting a celebrity blogger at a festival in the UK. When leaving court in London, she gave a statement expressing her outrage at the decision, but for many, all they could focus on was how she looked. It was hard to make out it was even the same Tulisa, due to how the fillers had morphed her face. The questions about what work she had done started coming in thick and fast, and Tulisa, unlike most celebrities, was actually open and honest about it.
Yep, I get my lips done, and I've had a bit of filler in my cheeks, and I talked about collagen waves as well. But I mean, I've openly said it. It's not like I'm not hiding anything. I feel like basically the inside secret is that pretty much everyone has stuff done, but nobody talks about it. And I'm just one of those people that won't lie, and if someone asks me, I'm not going to sit there in denial like, oh no, me, never had my lips done. Yeah, of course I have. I like them, that's all that matters.
Credit to her for being so upfront, because it's rare to see that. Sadly, as time has gone on, the fillers appear to have prematurely aged her, and it's particularly visible when her face is in motion. In more recent photos of her, she looks like someone else entirely, and it's hard to imagine you're looking at the same woman when you look at two photos of her 10 years apart. She posted this video to her Instagram at the end of last year, and I bet if I didn't tell you that's Tulisa, you'd have no idea who it is. In the past 2 to 3 years, Conor McGregor's appearance has changed drastically. During most of his time in the UFC, he fought at a lighter weight and his face and body were quite lean. But even when he filled out and moved up to fight in a heavier weight class, he still looked like Conor. However, after a freak injury he suffered in his last fight in the UFC, he started to look very different. Within just a month of the fight, he sized up considerably. Then a month after that, changes in his face became visible. At first, it was easy to think the change in his face was just due to bad lighting or bad camera angles. But as he posted more and more photos on Instagram, it became obvious that wasn't it. Some chalked it up to weight gain, but he was still pretty lean at the time, so that didn't explain it either. It was in 2022 when the true extent of the change became visible, after Conor shaved his beard and took this picture. Without the facial hair to cover it up, the sheer level of bloating and puffiness in his face was clear to see.
He is a transformed human, seemingly unrecognizable. Like, what the fuck am I even looking at? This is like, he literally looks like Dorian Yates reincarnate, bro, from like years ago.
It's safe to say he looked nothing like his old self anymore, and the difference was perhaps even more noticeable in interviews. So what exactly was it that caused these changes? Well, Conor no doubt started juicing shortly after he got injured, which would explain his rapid muscle gain and the changes in his face. More than likely, he made this decision to speed up recovery for his leg. What's also contributed to the change, albeit to a lesser extent, is his constant partying. Conor has always loved a night out, and since he's been inactive in the UFC, let's just say he's been enjoying himself. It goes without saying that all of this involves a heck of a lot of alcohol consumption, which has no doubt contributed to the bloating we see in him. But what's also taken a toll on him is his frequent use of the white stuff. Conor looks like he's aged a lot in the past few years, and presumably this is due to what he's been putting his body through. One recent interview he did with Sports Illustrated was pretty concerning, as he was constantly twitching and shrugging his shoulders, while hardly being able to string a sentence together.
Jake's a consummate professional, 75 movies made. You know, I'm blessed to have entered into the movie alongside him. He was patient with me. He gave me guidance, and I just took it. You know, we had a good rapport on set. He has 75 movies made. I have 75 bar fights made. And that's it. We had a good back and forth. For me, what was hard was, it was time consuming. 18 hours on set, very little rest. It was strange to me, but you know, the fight scenes, I was happy to give my input and my oar. And Jake, as I said, is a consummate professional. we've done a good job.
So for Conor, most of his changes have been related to substance use. However, it's worth mentioning he also got 2 cosmetic enhancements in this time. First, he got his teeth done, which he now shows off at every opportunity, and he got a hair transplant to address the recession he had in his corners. From the perspective of the average person, it might be baffling why celebrities get all these different procedures. But when you've constantly got a camera in your face, there's a real pressure to look a certain way. When you know everyone around you is enhancing their looks through these treatments, it becomes all too easy to follow them down the slippery slope.